task that could undo just about anyone, he might have had the wherewithal to keep his mouth shut. But, as it was, he just sat there on our living room floor, surrounded by small plastic bags containing seemingly identical but actually distinct and crucial bits of dark grey plastic, and told me everything. When he'd gone out that afternoon to buy milk and bread with 5-day-old Freya in the baby Bjorn, he'd actually taken her to meet her 3-week-old big sister. That's why he'd forgotten the milk and bread. For a long time afterwards, the part of this that I couldn't stop thinking about, the part that made my heart feel as if bits of it were peeling off like flakes of rust, was the idea of him walking up our street, past the cafe where we bought our coffee every day and our breakfast every Saturday, past the bakery, the chemist, the bottle shop and the news agency, through our life and out the other side of the suburb to his other life. Afterwards, I did wonder if he'd taken Lola for the same walk when she'd come home from hospital. Did Ron, the newsagent, come out to congratulate him? Did Natalia, the chemist, wave to him? Did they think that baby was my baby? How could he lie to those people? How did he think he was going to get away with any of this? There hadn't been much thought involved, as it turned out, just a lot of emotion. He had fallen in love, he told me, with his 26-year-old Pilates instructor. Troy was 40 years old. The cliché hurt almost as much as the betrayal. I'd thought we were immune to that sort of thing. We used to laugh at the men we'd see driving to the beach in European convertibles, Menno Porsches, we'd call them, with their overlong grey hair blowing in the wind as they dangled one arm over the bare brown shoulder of an unfeasibly attractive woman half their age. How could he be considering joining their ranks? It made no sense. But love doesn't make sense, Em, he'd explained tearfully that night. I never planned to fall in love again. I'm already in love. I love you. God, I didn't even know you could be in love with 2 people at once. Did you know that, Emma? It's actually possible. I didn't know that. It's hard to explain how elated he was and how somehow at the same time that this news was lifting me up and repeatedly smashing me onto rocks, filling my lungs with sand and horror and grief, I was also riding the wave of his excitement. I didn't take the news lying down, you'll be pleased to hear. Hell had nothing on my fury that night. He kept trying to explain it all to me as if it was ever going to make sense. I wanted to tell you about her, about this connection I'd made, because, Em, you know you're everything to me. We're a team. It was the weirdest thing in the world to keep this amazing thing that was happening in my life from you, but I didn't know what it was, you know? I couldn't tell if it was okay or not okay. It was intense. Well, here's a tip for the future, I spat back at him. If you have to describe your relationship with a woman who's not your wife as this amazing thing, and you wonder if it's okay or not, then it's probably not fucking okay. For the next few hours, Troy told me everything that had happened in far too much detail. It was like he was high. And it was when I realised he sounded like he was on drugs that I made a decision. This was an addiction. He was addicted to this woman, or the feelings, or sex, or the serotonin and dopamine, or some hideous combination of all that. You don't abandon someone because they're an addict. I mean, not right away. You help them. You support them through whatever they're going through and hope they'll come out the other side and you'll get back the person they once were. It sounded crazy, what he was telling me. You can't love 2 people at once, not in the same way. That's the sort of bullshit that cheating husbands feed their idiot wives. No one in her right mind would believe that. Or can you? I didn't know how much I could love until I met Troy, so who's to say the capacity isn't there to feel that love twice? Although it did seem far more likely that this was all the love hormones talking. It's like your children, he said as he sat beside me on the sofa, his eyes wide and so bright, gripping both my hands with his. Remember when Tim was born? Do you remember we used to say he'd have to be an only child because there was no way we could love another baby even close to how much we loved him? But we do, you do, I do. As soon as we saw Freya, we loved her just as much. And didn't that completely blow your mind, Emma? That did make sense, in a way. I can remember thinking that he must have been falling in love with both baby Freya and Lola at the same time, shortly after falling for Helen, and so obviously he suddenly had an unshakable belief in his boundless capacity for love. So he was in love with both Helen and me, it seemed. He hadn't gone looking for someone because...